Hello and welcome everybody. It's UFC Fight Night Paris, the first ever fight card in Paris. UFC's legal there now. And to main event the card, we have Gane versus Tuivasa. What do you guys think?
This is the most lopsided matchup of 2022. Just like I'm sorry, it just is. Like everyone likes Ty. Let's use Ty and Derek Lewis as a benchmark. Ty and Derek Lewis had a competitive back and forth affair where they each landed on each other, a quick one, and Ty had the bigger shot and finished it off. Okay, cool. Derek Lewis didn't touch Cyril Gane. He didn't touch him. He landed like three things the whole fight. Nothing clean. Ty's not going to touch. Look at Francis. Until Francis started wrestling, he didn't do shit. Those first two rounds against Cyril, he landed one good body shot. This is the heavyweight champion who could land one clean shot against Cyril in 10 minutes on the feet. Like, it's just, Ty's not going to touch him. He's going to get dominated, and Cyril's going to knock him out probably in the middle rounds after Ty gets frustrated and starts throwing stupid shit. Or it will be the most boring fight ever, and Ty will just get picked apart from a distance for 25 minutes because he doesn't want to go in and get knocked out.
It's hard to disagree with that. I think one thing though I feel like we haven't seen from Gane is I feel like no one has tried to leg kick him. I think
Volkov?
Did Volkov try to leg kick him? I feel like
Those were the only shots Volkov landed, and
Volkov landed hands on him.
The first round. But like not good ones. Like the good shots he landed were all leg kicks, but Cyril kind of just tanked them all and didn't really care.
Also, I mean, I think Tuivasa's leg kicks are definitely more powerful than Volkov's. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah,
I think what if he starts chopping at those legs? You gotta limit that mobility somehow. But other than that,
I don't even think Cyril would let him.
I mean, it's a lot harder to dodge leg kicks than it is punches.
I just think Ty's too slow. I think Cyril will be touching him up while he loads up the kicks.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, look, I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I think, I just think that at this price, like, what is it? It's like minus 600 or something crazy. Like, yeah. I mean, this is heavyweight, so, I wouldn't touch that money line for Gane. If you probably want to do some props, or you want to. I personally, I would bet the rounds. I think this is going over on the rounds because. Yeah, like you're saying, like, I mean, I find it hard to see Ty, like, connecting on Gane's chin. Like, that's not going to happen. But at the same time, like, Ty's chin is pretty unbelievable. Like, the guy took, like, full-on Derek Lewis shots, like, in that clinch. Like, Derek Lewis was literally punching him straight to the back of the head, and he didn't get knocked out. So, yeah, I think this fight's going over.
What's the over?
I think it's 2.5 rounds.
Oh, that's pretty reasonable. I actually have gone by KO. So I think Tai Tuivasa's best chance here is to actually get in the clinch, because he showed decent grappling actually throughout his UFC career. Not the best, obviously, but decent enough. And he does have good hands and a pretty good chin. But Cyril Gane's going to work the body probably more than anything else. And then he's just going to get that right shot and knock you down. So he kind of picks and prods, he hits you, then he gets that right shot in the liver. Now Tuivasa might have a lot of extra skin there, so maybe he's protected a little bit more. But Gane better on the feet, and actually I wouldn't necessarily care if this went to decision. My hot take, not really hot take, is I like watching Gane go to decision. It's so mesmerizing to see a heavyweight do this. He's so light on his feet. He does his French things.
It's not even the heavyweight. It's the fact that somebody can just completely subdue another man standing with him for 25 minutes and be in no danger at all.
Yeah, I absolutely love it.
I mean, he's a heavyweight Wonder Boy. I mean, that's basically.
Well, he's better than Wonder Boy, bro. Wonder Boy gets hit sometimes, but this fucking when has Gane ever been like hit clean where you're like, oh, he got hit there? Like it doesn't happen.
Well, I mean, that's because heavyweights are way slower than welterweight.
But theoretically, he should be way slower too. But he's
that's what's impressive about it. He's like Wonder Boy. Like he moves like Wonder Boy at heavyweight.
Oh yeah. It's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Okay. Either way, we all agree Gane destroys him.
I got by KO. Do you guys have like a prop for him or something? Because I think we all think a prop for him.
I just have it over. I mean, I can review one of my bets now. I think the fight to start round 3 is minus 128. I like that a lot.
Nice.
I have the Gane money line in a parlay, and then I have a little fun bet with Gane by KO in a round combo. But I think Gane knocks him out too.
Personally, I feel like the money line is not to be fucked with personally, but all right.
Well, I mean, he's parlaying it, you know.
Yeah.
So
It's just to boost another bet.
awesome.
All right.
So now we got our next fight, the co-main event. Actually, a banger of a fight, possibly a #1 contender eliminator. Robert Whittaker versus Marvin Vettori. What do y'all think here?
I mean, on paper, like Whittaker, like he's way more skilled. I don't see like I feel like the way Marvin Vettori wins is via just like pressing Whittaker up against the fence, like maybe going for takedowns, going for the grappling, and then just use like pace and volume. Because I just feel like skill for skill, like Whittaker's better. It's like way better at striking. And I don't know, yeah, like it's hard not to pick Whittaker here. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yes, Whittaker's better everywhere. Literally everywhere. Like Whittaker's literally better everywhere. Like Vittori's not gonna get the better of him on the feet. Vittori's grappling isn't good enough to get Whittaker down, who has cracked takedown defense and also like improved offensive grappling too, which he's shown in his last few fights. I don't see what Marvin can do. Marvin doesn't have fight changing power. He doesn't have fight changing submissions or wrestling. Like he's very durable and he has great cardio and he's a tank, but like so is Whittaker. Besides being a tank, but Whittaker doesn't need to be a tank because he's going to be the one dishing out the damage. Robbie by points is one of the most obvious. I feel just like, of course that's what's going to happen. Bets of the year.
Well, let me play devil's advocate here. One thing Marvin Vettori does better than Robert Whittaker, he has better tattoos than Robert Whittaker. I think he's better.
True.
Yeah. I also think he has better cardio than Robert Whittaker, honestly. And if there is a pathway for Marvin Vettori, I kind of see it going like Merab Dvalishvili, to be honest. Where like
I was gonna say like
he just holds him, right?
That fight. Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah, he just holds him against the fence because Aldo pretty much stopped like 95% of the takedowns, but he couldn't do anything because he was held against the fence most of the time. This is a 3-round affair. This is going to be a really weird question, but is Paris at altitude or something? Because like that made a huge difference for that last fight, you know, or that last fight card. Everybody was gassing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Well, except Usman, who went to sleep, you know. But that's where I could see Vettori just kind of holding him against the fence. Now, can he grab Robert Whittaker? Yeah, I think he could get his hands on Robert Whittaker. Now, whether
he's way bigger than Robert Whittaker.
That is true. Robert Whittaker, he's definitely grown to middleweight for sure. But Marvin Vettori, he didn't look out of place at light heavyweight against Paulo Costa.
Yeah.
I think one thing I feel sorry about for Robert Whittaker is he's usually fought people with iron chins, so we haven't really seen him, you know, knock people out, unfortunately. But he's not gonna knock a Vettori. Ultimately, I think Robert Whittaker's probably the smart money, but I wouldn't be surprised if Vettori wins or has a split decision, to be honest, because his striking is pretty improved from last time. We get this fight against Costa.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with you. I think I think Vettori could definitely win this fight, and if he does win, I do believe it's gonna follow like that Merab Aldo sort of fight. I think the play here though is like
Over.
I just feel like if Whittaker wins, like 90% of the time it's gonna be by decision. So I think you might as well just bet Whittaker by decision if you think he's gonna win.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I mean, Vettori also like doesn't get finished. So between those two things, like if you think Whittaker's winning, then Whittaker by decision is just the obvious one. But with that being said, consider that Whittaker usually goes to decision and Vettori doesn't get stopped. This is the fight that Vettori gets stopped.
Or Vettori just chins Whittaker because Whittaker's taken a lot of damage. Let's be real.
Well, tanks
He's
entire
been
career.
dropped like every fight.
Yeah, he almost lost to Darren Till.
Like,
well, I actually thought he lost to Darren Till.
Yeah.
No, he didn't lose to Darren Till. But even Darren Till's way more dangerous on the feet. So
I don't know if I'd agree to that. Marvin Vettori, his striking's improved. He looked pretty good against Costa.
I think his striking's pretty mid, but he has the ball.
He gets by on the fact that he's just a tank and he can just continue to walk through your shots.
So
like his actual skill is pretty suspect on the feet.
Well, also Robert Whittaker's thinking of moving to light heavyweight, so he's looking past Vettori.
If he beats Pehe, he kind of has to.
If he what?
No, he could beat Pereira. I mean, he'll just fight Pereira. Oh,
No, I
actually,
said if Izzy beats Bahia, because
oh,
then like at that point, you know what I mean? No, like if Izzy loses to Bahia, then he better pray that Andre Muniz takes the belt off Izzy.
yeah, or they. I mean, it could just be like a Max Volk 3 type situation where like they just have to give the shot to Whittaker again.
Yeah, if he beats Vettori and Izzy beats Bahia, then what do you do?
You put Robert Whittaker against Andre Muniz or Sean Strickland or Costa, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, Whittaker destroys Muniz.
I don't know about that.
Maybe, yeah, I don't know about that. Muni's pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. So we got Robert Whittaker, probably be a decision, to win this fight here. We're all agreeing. This is unfortunate. They're all gonna lose, guys. I don't care about Alessio Di Chirico. Do you guys have anything to say about him?
No, he looks like an elf.
Nasrat Haqprast versus John Makeski. I'd have Nasrat Haqprast, but that's all I have to say.
Man, I really like a John Makeski underdog here, and I'm gonna bet him because, I mean, his last fight, it was a split decision win against Ignacio Bahamondes in a striking fight, and I think Ignacio Bahamondes is pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And the last fight Nasrat was in, he got lit up by Bobby Green. The one before that, he got walked over by Dan Hooker. I don't know. I think this is a pretty close fight.
Okay. His last loss was to Francisco Trinaldo.
Yeah, that's not good. That's not a good loss. But...
John Makeski's 37?
Yeah, he's pretty old too. I think this is a close striking battle. So, I mean, this guy can stand with Bahamondes, so.
Yeah, I think if he can do that, that's a fair point because Nasrat Haqprast, he's pretty one-dimensional with his striking, unfortunately. And I don't know, does John Makeski wrestle at all? Because if he does, Nasrat's
I
pretty
don't
done.
think so. I think this is pretty much going to be a pure striking fight, as far as I can tell.
Okay, that's fair enough. I would need to do more research on John Makeski.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're split on the pick. There you go.
I got Nasrat to break the tie.
Sure, sounds good to me. William Gomes versus Jarno Aarons. I don't think we know about these people. They're from the Netherlands and France.
Yeah, no, I don't know who these people are.
Let's get to our probably the fight of the night. In all honesty, Charles Jourdain versus Nathaniel Wood. This one's gonna be a banger, everybody. Charles Jourdain may be the Charles Oliveira of this division. He's young, he's getting a ton of experience, he's going through the grinder. He's not necessarily getting fed to the top competition, but he is experiencing that level of resistance periodically. And he's a relatively active fighter here. I'm looking at his Tapology, and in the past year, he's had 4 fights. So this is going to be his 5th fight in a single year. That's an insane strength of schedule to have. Charles Rosa, he may have lost to Charles Rosa, may have lost to Shane Burgos, but I actually thought he beat Shane Burgos. I thought he 10-8'd him in the last round. And I actually had money on Shane Burgos, so it was mixed feelings. But Jourdain, I think he's really dangerous on the feet. You're not going to stop him on the feet. He also has pretty damn good cardio. The only thing is that his wrestling leaves something to be desired, but he showed that he can get himself up. And Nathaniel Wood is a bantamweight who is now fighting at featherweight. He looked against Charles Rosa. He destroyed Charles Rosa, if I want to rephrase that there. But there's still question about how he does at 145. He did miss weight at 135 a few times. But he's also called the Prospect, and that's a pretty bad nickname, to be honest. He's like 30. I don't know if you could call him a Prospect anymore. He will probably do well with his cardio and his striking. He's going to probably be a little faster than Jourdain. But I think Jourdain is just more skilled on the feet, to be honest. So Charles Jourdain at minus 150. I think that's a pretty good value bet, but if you want to have a guarantee, this is probably going to decision.
Yeah, I like the over for this fight. I'm not too knowledgeable about either of these fighters, though, to be honest, so probably wouldn't bet it.
All with that one. I'm Nathaniel Wood's a little sus to me, and Charles, they're both a little sus to me. Like, I think it's going to be a fun fight just because of their styles, but in terms of betting it, I don't know.
Awesome. So, with that being said, we got Charles Jourdain over and IDK. Yeah. So we're all split on the pick. This one might be our hot take for the video. Actually, we got our next video: Dustin Stoltfus versus
Stoltfus.
Stoltfus versus Absupian Magomedov. Josh, you should actually lead this one because you convinced me, to be honest.
I mean, the most research I've had about this guy is looking through his record, and I mean, if you look through his record, I believe it's quite inflated. I mean, all right, last fight beat a guy 2-0, like 12-0. That's pretty good. But then the fight before that, like, fought a guy 0-0, like making his MMA pro debut when he's 22-4. Fight before that, he lost by knockout to some dude named Lewis Taylor in the PFL, who is like 40 years old at the time. That's pretty sus. Couple wins in the PFL, like kind of whatever. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, just if you just look through his records, some of them are not impressive whatsoever. And I just feel like people just look at that name and just want to bet it, right? Like I looked at that name, I was like, damn, who is this guy? Like I want to bet, I want to bet him. But then looking through his record, I'm not impressed. For also, he's like born in Dagestan, but he trains out in Germany. Like, is he? Can you really say he's Dagestani at that point? I don't know. So,
we're good on you, bro.
Meanwhile, Dustin Stoltfus, he's a UFC veteran. He's gotten some pretty good fights. I mean, he was winning against GM3 and then lost, like everyone against GM3. Beat Dwight Grant. You know, he's UFC caliber. You know, so I think this line doesn't make much sense, especially against like this Magomedov guy who's making his UFC debut, who he hasn't fought since 2020. Like, he's pulled out of a bunch of fights. Like, who knows what's up with him? So I think a Dustin Stoltfus underdog is in order here.
Yeah, I think those are all valid points. Like you said, he basically is inactive, probably injury prone, pulling out of fights there. And you know, Dustin Stoltfus, we do kind of know what we get with him there. Yeah, and the only thing I see, Dustin might lose via wrestling and submission. That's really the only thing, but I think Dustin's a great value bet. Pretty simple,
Yeah.
All right then. Let's see. We got Faris Ziam versus Michael Figlik. Bet against Faras.
Yeah.
All right, we got it.
I don't know. I mean, he got destroyed by Terrence McKinney, but he beat Luigi Vendramini, guys. That's pretty good.
He only beat him because they didn't think it was a 10-8 round in that third fight. I remember that. Maybe I'm too generous in my 10-8 rounds because I've said that twice now, but he should have gotten 10-8 in his last fight against Luigi. I actually do like Luigi Vendramini, even if he did lose to weight bully Paddy Pimblett. You know, Paddy cuts from 200 pounds apparently, so weight bully.
Well, like 30 of those pounds are natural. Anyways,
I got the Mad Dog, because I don't really care for Faraz. I think he's gonna lose a decision probably.
Yeah, who knows?
Okay, well, now this one we could discuss. Nasruddin Imavov versus Joaquin Buckley. What do y'all think?
I like Imavov as a parlay piece. Buckley is a lot of fun, but unconvincing. I think Imavov has probably fought some better people and beat better people. I think he's more well-rounded. I think he could wrestle Buckley if he wants to, and I think it's competitive on the feet. So, yeah, Imavov.
I think Nasruddin's a lot better on the feet. Actually, I think he's way more technical. Like even like I see like Buckley in the last fight against Derive. Like, I just feel like his striking is just, I feel like he kind of just relies a lot on his power. Like, he just throws wild shots, and you know, it might connect on him and knock him out. Like, that's totally possible. He's been hurt before, but I just like Imavov is just way more technical. Like, he's going to be able to get to his target faster than Buckley. He actually throws straight shots, and I think Buckley's method of victory here is actually via grappling. I think Buckley actually has pretty decent grappling. He showed it against El Hassan. He also grappled Duraev. He actually has like decent cardio. Like he has third round cardio. So we've seen Imavov get out grappled before. He got out grappled by Phil Hawes. So I think that's how he wins. I think on the feet, Imavov is too slick. So
Yeah,
I don't think Buckley can grapple Imavov. Imavov is too slick with the grappling himself. I don't think there's anything. I don't think Buckley's gonna take him down.
he doesn't need to take him down.
I think it stays standing and clinching, and Imavov just pieces him up.
What? No. Joaquin Buckley, I think at a plus 220, I think that's a great value bet. Joaquin Buckley has continuously evolved over all of his fights. He's more than just a highlight reel nowadays. He's evolved into a much smarter fighter who actually incorporates, striking instead of just going for that hook, right? And then he goes and he adds grappling to his game. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw another extra layer added to his game as we get here. And Nasrin Imavov, all it takes is one, right? So he goes and he can just knock him out there. And Joaquin Buckley, he's pretty good with timing it. So I honestly don't think that plus 220, I think is a great value bet for Joaquin Buckley here. Maybe even double chanted for like KO or by points there. Nasrin Imavov is definitely deserving of his ranking, but I think Joaquin Buckley is slowly but surely becoming more than just a fun fighter,
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think the line is probably where it should be, like Imavov minus 265. Like that seems pretty fair to me. So at that price, I feel like that's probably a stay away. But I do believe Imavov is better and will win the fight.
Okay. But he's also French, or he's repping on it. And I see.
Yeah, he might get the hometown
jitters and then lose. Yeah. Right, it's called the Russian sniper, so that's exciting.
Yeah, but he fights out of France, so.
All right, so we're split on the pick: Imavov versus Joaquin Buckley, and I think we're almost done. Unless you
No,
Benoit Saint Denis. This guy is I'll relax. Benoit Saint Denis, great dude. He has a future. Bet him, and bet Eileen Perez. This is at featherweight. It's on short notice. I think it's gonna be a wonderful, wonderful bet. Even though she is such an underdog. And those are the last two things here. Now let's get to the bets here. Minus 5.8. You're almost always breaking even, Josh. That's crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm always just staying afloat.
No, you're doing pretty good. You're never in extreme danger ever, so that's good.
Yeah. All right.
Go for it.
So, my bets are: I have Gane Tuivasa to start round 3 at minus 128, 4 units. I like that a lot. Whittaker by points minus 110, 23 units. John McDessie money line plus 172, 2 units. And Dustin Stoltfus by finish plus 450, 1 unit.
Nice. Pretty smart. And then Dermer yo-yos, minus 24.
We're making the comeback soon. We've had an up and down year.
All right, so now... Oh, you didn't put your bets in. Okay.
No, I got them right now. Here we go. Ready?
No, let me put Gane versus Tuivasa. Now I'm ready. Okay.
All right, Cyril Gane money line and Whittaker by points parlay plus 117. That's 7 units on that.
7 units? Okay.
And then Nasrat and Imavov parlay.
Mm-hmm.
That should be minus 102. Give me 2 units on that. And then Cyril Gane by any of the middle round knockouts, 2, 3, or 4. Plus 300 last unit on that.
How much is that?
Plus 300.
That seems very, very reasonable. I might have to look at that actually.
Yeah, rounds 2, 3, 4.
Plus 300, dude. That's pretty insane. I'm staying afloat. Plus 35 here. Leon Edwards proving Usman as a glass shouldn't really help me because I lost every other bet that night. All right. So my bets for UFC Gane versus Tuivasa. Cyril Gane via KO, 105. Oh, these are all 2.5 units as usual. Via KO, plus 105. Charles Jourdain via points, plus 250. Saint Benoit and Robert Whittaker -110, and I got a Perez, Stoltfus, and Buckley money line parlay for +2697.
All right, those are cold takes. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Peace out, y'all.